They are big and beautiful, bold and boisterous. They are New Zealand sea lions, and they once roamed the seas all around New Zealand. Hunted almost to extinction by Maori and Europeans, they are the rarest sea lions on Earth. The last of their population lives almost exclusively on subantarctic islands. And that population is in serious crisis.
The population down in the subantarctic are struggling. The numbers have declined by about 50% in the last 10 years, down by about 30% in the last year, and we're not really sure why.
Sean McConkey has studied New Zealand sea lions for 15 years. He is one of the few people with a legal permit to approach, identify, and track the few sea lions that still visit the New Zealand mainland.
So I go out there, try and recognise each individual sea lion and figure out who it is.
And recent events give McConkey's work a new urgency.
Down in the subantarctic at the main breeding colony at the Auckland Islands, this season pup numbers were down by about 30%.
With only 12,000 New Zealand sea lions left, suddenly 1/3 of the adult females simply disappeared.
The females just weren't there. We don't know why.
But thankfully, this small colony on New Zealand's mainland is thriving. It all started in 1993, back when McConkey first became interested in sea lions.
First started around 15 years ago when a female sea lion came up from the subantarctic, gave birth to a pup just south of Otago Peninsula, and that was the first pup to be born on the mainland of New Zealand in probably 200 years or so.
They named her Mum, and since then, Mum has had 39 children and grandchildren.
The sea lions here seem to be doing very well, probably because they don't seem to have to work as hard to find food, so they're much bigger and healthier animals.
The reason? Good hunting and a forgiving environment. The very reasons sea lions thrived in New Zealand before humans wiped them out. For example, subantarctic females dive 600 meters for food. Mainland animals only have to go down 100 meters. Subantarctic females spend days at sea, hunting for food up to 175 kilometers offshore. On the mainland, they are at sea for less than a day and travel only 25 kilometers.
The end result, our females not having to work as hard, they are much heavier and healthier animals. They're going to be better able to combat any environmental stress, whether it be less food available, whether it be disease or anything else.
And there is another major advantage.
Here on the Otago Peninsula, we've got females usually giving birth to their first pup at 4 or 5 years of age.
That's 2 years earlier than subantarctic females. So the mainland is the best place for sea lions to make a recovery. But sea lions are big, boisterous, and fearless, and that gets them into trouble.
It's not unusual for them to turn up on public beaches. Most of the time they completely ignore people and there's no incidents, but on occasion they will move up into residential areas. We've had them in people's backyards, we've had them playing with people's dogs, we've had them on roads, either chasing vehicles. We've had one unfortunately run over by a car.
And human beings have to be taught how to behave around sea lions. It is illegal and very dangerous for humans to approach sea lions. New Zealand sea lions can only recover if humans observe them from a distance. But despite the challenges, McConkey remains optimistic.
At this stage, definitely optimistic about the Otago sea lions. Numbers are increasing, we're getting more breeding females, we're getting more pups being born.
Still, with Antarctic females fast disappearing, McConkey remains wary.
Yeah, the sea lion colony here at Otago Peninsula is still at a very vulnerable stage. While we are having pups regularly born here every year, it wouldn't take much for the females to disappear, only 7 or 8 breeding females. Because no other female has come up here and started breeding, who knows when that might happen again. So if anything happens to the few females that we have now, it could be all over.